Hello and welcome to the Sorare Lounge, courtesy of the Sorare Thursday Club, Santé. I am your host, Ricky, aka the Sorare Mamba, and I'm joined, as ever, by my glamorous co-host, play sharper Everton expert and duck lover, Johnny, aka Dornado. We are extra late this evening, so I can only apologise that, but you can see by the grin on this gentleman's face that you can probably tell why we are late. He has been off watching his beloved Everton. And by the smile on his face, you can tell it went well. They have just finished beating Newcastle 3-0. I'm guessing you enjoyed that one.
Mate, what a win. Fuck the tune. Up the toffees. We absolutely dominate them, apart from like two good chances they had. What a win. Just had to celebrate all the goals really quietly because the little baby's just gone to bed. So it was really difficult. Got told off still for making noise. Get in there. We're out of the relegation zone even with 10 points taken off us. So fuck the Premier League and fuck Newcastle. That's what I say.
Yeah. I saw Gordon had a couple of little sniffs in and around the box. I thought it was almost destined that he'd score.
He looks like he panics a bit. I think he was so desperate to score that he was just shooting stupidly a couple of times. He should have scored one, definitely. But yeah. Great result, great performance from the boys. Don't know if did you watch the game or?
I watched a bit of it. I actually decided to put my Christmas tree up instead, which is usually more fun than watching Everton. But did the business today. And on Rivals, I thought I'd be funny and pick a full Newcastle stack, and then I got whooped. So
I think I beat you by 270 points. I got my highest ever score on Rivals, 504.
Yeah, I was ready to bring the banter, but Newcastle, looked really leggy, looked dead on their feet, not having any subs basically, and just rolling out the same team twice a week seems to have caught up with them.
You know what it is? They look leggy. They were playing a few players that probably wouldn't normally start, and like the player that you'd rely on the most for them, Trippier, was at fault for two of the goals and played better onside for the third goal. But like he's played every minute of every game. Like he's got to be absolutely fucking exhausted, isn't he? But I don't care. I'll take it. Up the toffees.
Yeah, there we go. And Man United even won yesterday and looked half decent. So, decent midweek for us.
First half in particular, I thought you played really well United yesterday.
Yeah, really good. Couldn't believe the amount of chances. Actually, it was actually quite enjoyable to watch for a change. But as you were late and kept me waiting, I knew you wouldn't have any time to warm up. So I've prepped 5 quick fire questions for you. One-word answers straight away, just to get you up and running for the show. So, first question: favorite content creators?
You broke up during that whole question, then. So, would you like to start that again?
Favorite Sorare content creator that isn't us?
Okay.
Quick.
I'll go for Andrew Laird.
What was that? You completely broke up there.
Andrew Laird. I think we're struggling with Wi-Fi.
Andrew Laird.
Yeah.
Lairdinho. Favorite YouTube channel? Any subject?
Good golf.
Good golf. Who wins Premier League this season?
Man City.
Most important part of a Christmas dinner?
Pigs in blankets.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi. Easy.
Okay, there we go. Right. Now you're ready to go. Thanks to anyone who's joining us now, watching, listening, catching us afterwards. If you could please like and subscribe and all that vibe, and I'll tell Santa that you've been good this year, and we'd much appreciate it. But today we're going to chat a little bit about Euro 2024 and an early dark horse pick from each of us and some players that we think are going to have a good tournament that aren't, the standout Mbappes, etc. of the world. We've got the usual segments: Everton versus the world, Premier preview. But we'll start, as always, with the gossip column. I'll look at the recent Sorare news from the last week or so. And there's a few little bits to talk about. I've got a shirt reveal to do as well. Mystery shirt has arrived.
Oh, what's that? What's that for?
It is Serie A, unsigned.
Oh, nice.
We will use.
Hopefully, I'll have a Champion Europe signed to open in a couple of weeks. So I managed to get myself one of those in the random thingamajig. Very exciting. yeah, no, I'm excited to see who your Serie A one is for sure.
You're cracking up on me, but I presume you said you're really excited for me and can't wait to see.
Yeah, I did.
So, let's have a look at what's been going on. What's the one thing we missed last week, which I just wanted to quickly touch on, was rewards pools are having DMPs and subs added back into them. We used to have this, didn't we? And then some people have, it's for it to return, increase the variety of players in the rewards. And I guess this is kind of good, right? Because there's some really good injured players that you'd rather have than, some turgid crap that you get at the bottom. It's players that are out for a long time who are still worth a lot. So this is quite nice. And I guess it expands the pools a bit, can add some more variety to it. Yeah, I think it's nice. It can flesh out the pools a bit. I wonder if it means they have actually, well, they must have more cards to play with. So yeah, I think it's good. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's good as well. Like you said, it's, if it's a good card that's injured, like you're best off having that than some of the other cards that dish out. I'd be pretty put out if it was a crappy player that was injured. But like I saw someone give an example of like Kevin De Bruyne. Like you'd rather have Kevin De Bruyne injured, wouldn't you? Rare card than some of the other ones that have been dished out as prizes. So I understand why they're doing it for sure, because they're just redundant now almost because of the way they're doing the prizes. And like they're like additions, so that they'll only have like maybe 20 of the 100 rares produced of Kevin De Bruyne this year because of they couldn't give him as a reward. So they need to do something for sure.
Yeah, and maybe it can help with consistency a bit when they don't have to, change them around and stuff. They can still use those injured players. So yeah, I think it's decent. It affects the card swap rules and things, but yeah, to ensure this doesn't affect the quality of card rules, we remove the bottom 30% of players once we've computed it. Yeah, so I think it's all right. I've always would rather have some injured players over some dross, like you said. So that was a decent start. Evening, Red or Dead. Nice to have you on board. West Ham just taking a 2-1 lead. I've got Højbjerg captain going for me, so I think he's been taken off now.
That's what I want to know.
Was it Souček?
Please be Souček.
What else have we got? Pitch notes today. Really, the only main thing we took from here is they finally listened, and the jersey drop system seems to be changing. I think this is something that we've all sort of like pretty much everyone's been clamoring for, right? We all log on, desperately try to refresh and order a shirt in about 3 seconds, and we miss out. I got lucky a couple of times, but yeah, I think most people have said it's much needed change, and this is quite a good one. I guess everyone uses coins to buy themselves basically a ticket into the lottery, and then they'll pull the winners. I guess this will give a bit longer for everyone to get a chance to, join in as well. So I think this is a good example. I did wonder whether you pay and then you get your coins back if you're unsuccessful.
Yeah,
or if I was
just thinking that exact thing. I guess like most Sorare announcements, they need to sort of explain a little bit.
Perhaps.
Yeah, there we go. Explain a little bit behind the details of what it means, because I guess they could make it, if it's just in terms of them getting coins back to them, then they could just make it a flat fee and then you just give that and that's just your entrance to the draw. But if they're going to charge you the full fee of 35,000 coins, then people are going to want that back, right? so yeah, it'd be interesting how they do it. But yeah, I think it's good. I've managed to get lucky a couple of times with the shirt drops. I think you've got lucky a couple of times, but like I've missed out a hell of a lot more than I've hit, and some people haven't hit at all. So I appreciate that people are desperate to win these things. It really is something that people doing Sorare aim to get. Like it's a really cool thing to have a physical prize, isn't it? So yeah, no, I want more people to win stuff. I want people to be happy. 3-0 toffees. I want everyone to be happy.
I think it's fairer, yeah. I've seen even a lot of the big content creators like Nellis and stuff have been complaining about it and saying it's not very Very good. So yeah, if you at least if you enter the draw, you feel like you've got a chance, and everyone will probably be a bit happier. They feel like they've got the chance. I think a small nominal amount of coins that you then lose once you've entered is like fine with me.
Yeah.
And then they take the full amount if you're successful. So hoping to get a shout for the St. Pauli jersey. I'm third in collection jersey. There's 2 big collections ahead of me. Yeah, it's only top, isn't it? I think that's the next. The next story is they've done the collection event number 2. Bring this up because I saw a lot of Premier League team names in there, and I thought there might be an Everton in there for you, and you might be getting yourself a signed jersey, but unfortunately not. Bournemouth, Villa, Brentford, Brighton, Palace.
Literally, you can just
Forest,
imagine me,
Liverpool, Newcastle.
You can imagine me reading it earlier, and I was just like, it's an alphabetical order. Bournemouth, Villa, Brentford, and then there's a couple beginning with E. Oh, it's Eintracht Frankfurt. Great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, not for you. It's only the top one in limited, top one in rare, and you're top in...
So I'm top in both
limited?
In both of them, yeah. So
it would have been you. But the next collection event isn't till January now. So
if I hadn't have just managed to get that shirt on the shirt drop, I would have been a bit pissy about that. But yeah, I've got a shirt coming away, and hopefully at some point they'll do it. I mean, I don't know about you, but are you thinking the prizes for the people top for these teams is a signed shirt of that team?
Yeah. I'm guessing this is a stock. This is the stock they've got left from these teams, which is why they're the teams.
I was going to say it'll be. I don't think there's any Everton jerseys in production. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen any. You see a lot of people posting their jersey wins. I've never seen an Everton one across anywhere. I've seen probably every other team, I reckon. Maybe we can afford it. Maybe we're too busy spending our money elsewhere. But we'll see.
I can't really hear what you're saying because you've frozen on a nice funny face, but I'm gathering you're complaining about there not being Everton tops. But I need a San Jose one for mine, and it's unlikely that that's going to come up anytime soon by the sounds of it. But again, I think it's a nice touch, right? I like getting rewards. Can't order all the jerseys to one lad. What else happened? La Liga Sports Celebration Special Edition cards. That means the Premier League ones have ended. I did snag myself a Rashford this morning, even though he's been playing terribly. I felt like I'm a sucker for a special edition, so I went ahead and got a Rashford. But the next ones are out, and they are the La Liga ones. Big names in here. Obviously, a really good player. Pedri, a big name goalkeeper. Griezmann. They leave us in here with Isco. And wasn't there another one? No, these are the original ones. All really big names. Some actual decent celebrations this time. Pedri going with the goggles. We'd like to see that. I think cool cards. These are some big names as well, which are going to draw a lot of people in. And get the big bucks, right? These are the ones I want to see. We just lost Tornado for a moment when he's restarting his computer. So I will ramble on in his absence. So that's the things that happened this week. Just going to have a look at my midweek scores while I wait for him to come back. We are sitting in 21st in the PL Winter Comp. That doesn't look like it's updated. Let's give it a little refresh and see what we've got in there. 402 points. 16th place, 0.128 ETH. That's a big win. Big fan of this competition so far. A bit skeptical at the start. I don't own any massive big players in rare, but they're doing well. you can see my third cash in the first 3 game weeks. I think we've earned over £400 now in 3 game weeks, from Everton. Hang on, the return of Johnny. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Better.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, good. I was having some Wi-Fi issues there. I'm not sure quite what was going on, but we did a quick restart, and I think we're back on track.
Okay. You're called Ricky. That's the only problem. I know not many people want to be called Ricky in life, so I'm just giving you the opportunity to change that.
Okay,
I was just having a look at my midweek teams. After looking at the celebrations, I really like the Pedri card. Was my standout goggle celebration. But yeah, 16th place we ended up this week in the rare comp.
Did you? That is very, very tidy.
0.128 ETH. For not having like massive players in this, I think that's more than I expected. And then we got a couple of tier 3s with some Everton boys as well.
Look at those sweet Everton players in there. Also, I noticed Dwight McNeil's got a goal and an assist there.
Yeah.
He did not get an assist.
Oh, he got given the assist for the dummy on the second goal.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. What? He's been given that officially by Premier League?
Yes.
I mean,
at the moment.
He certainly didn't dummy it. He just missed the ball. But anyway, I'll take it. I've got him as well. Yeah, my Everton midweek's gone okay as well. Managed to snag some ETH. Not rare ETH, unfortunately, but yeah, I'll take it.
Did you get anything at the weekend from the Premier League comp?
I did get a little bit on the weekend. I got 2 lots of limited ETH. I think that was it. Yeah, 2 lots limited ETH. I was close on rare ETH. I think I got 310 points. I was about 15 points off a bit of ETH in that. Annoyingly, Sander Berger, who I sort of have backed as my little wild card, didn't do anything in a 5-0 win for Burnley. He was like the only player who didn't do well. So yeah, that kind of killed those chances there. I think the Burnley stacks won the whole thing, didn't they?
Did really well, yeah.
Yeah, not surprised. But yeah, couple of limited ETH, obviously not mega bucks, but still, like, because I already had my Everton stacks, I haven't really invested for the Winter League. So to just get the little ETH here and there, like, and it's higher than the threshold for limited, isn't it? It's £8, I think. So it's kind of a double threshold times 2. So I won 4 times limited threshold effectively.
It's definitely easier. It's definitely easier than I expected it to be. Obviously, especially in rare, I don't own Man United, Man City, Villa, 3rd place, big Villa team. I don't know any of those big teams, and I've managed to win decent amounts. So I guess people just couldn't field the teams that they thought they needed to enter. So it's been all right so far. 3 weeks down, 8 to go. But let's get.
What's helped is that a lot of the big teams haven't done particularly well the last couple of weeks, have they? Man City lost a couple, Arsenal won, but they conceded 3, so they had a few negative decisives here and there, didn't they? So I think a lot of the bigger teams have struggled a little bit. It's kind of brought the lesser teams and like our galleries into the mix a bit more. I definitely think the threshold for getting that bottom rare ETH in the winter did increase a little bit on the second week. I think people realised it was a bit too easy to win something in, and a few more people entered it the second week, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Everton doing well has helped as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
All right, so quick views. Now you're back, and I finished filling in, just talking about my own teams and different people's celebrations. Do you like these 5 cards that we started with? 4, isn't it, actually? Oh, no, 5. Uno Siemens in there. I
absolutely love all of these cards, like all of them. They look so freaking cool. I've already bought a Pickford at auction. Very cool looking card. But yeah, no, I think they're cool. And I really like the fact that the limiteds are gold. It just makes it, because when I first saw them on the market, I thought they were the uniques. They look so good, they could be the uniques, I think. But yeah, no, I think they're really cool looking, and I don't give a shit if I'm paying £15 extra for a nice looking card. Like, that's half the reason we do this, to get some cool thing that looks cool, right?
I didn't think I could let my team go by without buying the card, even if Marcus Rashford is performing like an absolute massive pile of steaming crap at the moment.
Yeah, he is looking like he's never kicked a football before, is he? But
I'd love a Greasy. I mean, I'd love a Greasy train. I owned him once when he was not allowed to play a full match because of the Barcelona contract thing. So I ended up selling him during that, and then he went amazing. And I'd love a Pedri as well. I've got a Golden Boy Pedri, but their goggles celebration is cool.
And is that his actual celebration in real life? The goggles thing, it is, isn't it?
Not sure. Since my stag do when we were in the new camp, I haven't watched a lot of Barcelona, to be fair. Rodri Limited and Pablo Barros Rare at the weekend. That's a good weekend.
Ooh, that is tidy.
All right, let's get back on track now. We finished filling. We're going to go for a shirt reveal, then the Euro Underdogs segment, Everton versus the World, Premier League preview, and then we're done. So I have got my mystery jersey on there.
What are we hoping for here then? So who would you say is your Serie A go-to team?
Bologna.
Copy me, I see. Copy me. I guess it won't be like Roma or any of the teams they can't get licensed for, because surely they don't give them shirts.
So have they got Inter now?
I was going to say Inter would be freaking cool.
Yeah, I would like Bologna. Fiorentina is my second choice. Just love the shirt. If it had the Nintendo retro jersey one, that would be the best. Batistuta on the back. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, Inter I like. Sosolu as well. I wouldn't mind.
And who was it?
Bradi's Barmy Army.
It's 22-23 shirt, right? So let's figure out who got relegated. You were one of those three.
Yeah, one of the relegated teams.
Sampdoria.
Right, give us a guess. And if you get it right, I'll put £1 in the charity pot.
I'm going to go for Sampdoria.
Right, here comes the one-armed shirt reveal again.
Oh, is that white and green?
Milan third kit would have been nice as well. That was the other one I was trying to think of.
Actually, who's that? Who wears green?
It is Sosolu.
Oh, nice. So you got Berardi's team.
Berardi's Barmy Army.
Very nice. That's tidy. That's a nice looking shirt, actually, green and white.
I will try to get up to the camera.
I thought they were.
It's got a name on the back.
Has it?
If I stand up, I can hold it.
Sort your fucking arm out. Which way am I reading that? Ayan? Ayhyhan. Let's have a look at him. See if he's the boy. You've got to.
That is quite tidy, to be fair.
If it's Can Ayan, then he now plays for Galatasaray. However, let's have a look if he used to play for Sassuolo.
So like that. That's a nice shirt, I think.
He did used to play for Sassuolo. There we go. You've got a current Galatasaray player who scored in his last game. Oh no, he didn't score in his last game, but he got a very high score. That is a nice shirt. I like that. What's the make there? Mapai.
That's a sponsor, isn't it?
Yeah. Sponsor.
Mapai. It is a Puma shirt, I think. Yeah, Puma.
I love a good Puma.
Well, that is one of the teams. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's nice, and it's sort of a different colour that you don't have so far in the background. So
I think it'd go nicely in this spot here, right?
Yeah, very nice. Happy days.
All right. Well, yeah, we take that. Nice little shirt reveal. Yeah, we take that. I can't believe I got a shirt that I can't believe I got a shirt that I actually wanted. That is.
I'm actually buzzing for you. That's a good shirt. That's what it is.
Some of the other random. It's quite fun getting these random shirts. So it's this random collection of shirts I've got: Consadole, Villa, Fulham signed, Arminia Bielefeld, Nuremberg, Shonan Belmare, all going on back here.
It's all getting ready for when we eventually both of us manage to build a man pad in the garden, right, where we can just put them all up on the ceiling and the walls and.
Exactly.
Live the dream.
So let's go into the main topic, Euro 2024, underdogs and players that we think are going to do well in the tournament next year. So the draw has been made. We know who is going to Germany now, apart from the playoff teams. So we decided we'd pick a team each that we think are a dark horse, and then a few players as well that we fancy to do well in the tournament next year. Now we're looking ahead that aren't the obvious. So we haven't picked, Mbappe and Harry Kane. So yeah, before we start diving into it, the main thing I found was like a striker issue when looking outside the big players who give us a chance at like decent returns as a Sorare manager. A lot of us wouldn't have the money to pick up a Harry Kane or an Mbappe, you know. So trying to find a striker outside of the main ones, I found quite a tough thing to do. If anyone's got any decent recommendations, I'd love to hear them because I do need a Euro striker looking ahead for the next tournament. But yeah, it was. I don't know if you found anything like that, but that was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm actually looking to buy a striker at the moment because I've obviously got a Pickford rare and I've got a couple of defenders and midfielders that aren't particularly good, but I could put together a little Euro stack if they do some sort of competition for it. I did just say do then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking to get a striker. Obviously, like I said, there's Kane, Mbappe, Griezmann. But yeah, once it gets past that, I mean, you've probably got Lukaku as well. You'd include in that. But other than that, there's a lot of bad strikers. Maybe we're old now and we don't realise they're very good. And maybe we were spoilt a little bit when we were growing up and like every big team had amazing strikers. But like you're looking at Germany, they've got like that Füllkrug who's not particularly good. Havertz is struggling. You've got like Spain
playing left back.
Yeah, Spain's got Morata, who is like the most erratic striker ever. There's not a lot of good strikers about there at the moment. So yeah, it's a tough one. You're either looking at really, really good, really expensive cards, or like a punt a little bit at the moment.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm sure I'll end up wasting my money on somebody, and it might be on somebody I'm about to suggest that people should look out for.
I had the same thing. Whenever we do these things where we like, oh, let's have a look and pick a team each, or let's look for a few players, I then instantly get fixated on that player or that team. I'm like, right, got to own these players. Shall I go first? Because I've got loads of tabs that I wouldn't mind closing down. So
yes,
please. I can find the rest of the show.
So
I had a little look round and I decided on Turkey.
Ooh,
Turkey as my dark horse. I was a little bit apprehensive to follow my gut on this one because they were also the Euro 2020 dark horse, weren't they, for most people? And they got absolutely shafted in all of their games and ended up to be more of a dark mouse than a dark horse and went straight out, completely flattering to deceive. And their qualifying campaign started pretty poorly as well. They had Stefan Kuntz, our friend Jack Cheesley's favourite football player's name, in charge. And yeah, they were doing pretty poorly, but Vincenzo Montella took over, swapped the team around a little bit, and they've actually been playing really well since. Lots of young talent in the team, and their group was Portugal, Czech Republic, and playoff Team C. Obviously, Portugal, big favourites, qualified really well, didn't lose a game, did they? Won every game, looking good. But I would fancy Turkey to comfortably finish second, ahead of the Czechs and playoff C. So I'd hope they'll be more like a 2008 Turkey than a 2020 Turkey this time round.
And the playoff teams are really bad.
I literally mentioned Jack Cheesley and he popped up on the chat. I didn't even know. I literally said his name and then he appeared in the chat. He must have sensed us talking about him.
Love it. Like usually the playoffs is like a couple of like big teams that are kind of have struggled in the groups and have got one more game to sort of get through to the. But all the teams, they seem so bad. It's like Kazakhstan, Finland, Estonia. It's like really bad teams. So like, that playoff C winner is going to be a bad team. So yeah, like you say, Turkey will be probably the second best team in that group. And yeah, they got some good players, haven't they? We obviously follow Turkish football a bit more now because of Sorare. So yeah,
always watching Big Brother over there. Yeah, I would like to apologise in advance. I'm not massive on my Turkish national football team, and I butcher most names I say. So trying to get through this Turkish lineup, yeah, I embarrass myself, but. They've changed a lot since Montella's taken over. And the reason I picked them from a Sorare perspective is when I isolated their Turkish scores in like the last 4 games, some of them have been scoring really, really well, playing, Wales, Croatia, not like gimme matches. So when you're looking back a few games, they had, Selic, Demiral, Soyuncu, Unal, who's one of my favourites, was up there before he had, I think he did a serious knee injury, didn't he? Under was in there. These are quite well-known players to, Sorare and the footballing community as a whole. But when you look at like the last few qualifiers since Montella's taken over, they've definitely changed things around a bit. Brought in some new players. I actually had to go and research and figure out who they were. But when you isolate some of the scores, they're really good. So if I run through a few of them now, this is the keeper for Trabzonspor. And you can see he's started the last 3 there after initially being the sub in qualifying. Some decent scores in there. Turkish keepers, you can see his limited is about £18. So he's not like... Keepers obviously quite a roadblock when you're building an international team, right? So this is like a reasonable starting point. I presume he starts every game for Trabzonspor if he's playing for the national team. But there we go. Yeah. So nice solid starting goalkeeper. Looks like he's got the nod now. Bayindir is also in the squad, Man United player. Just throwing a Man United player in there, but unlikely to play. The striker, Baris Yilmaz at Galatasaray, an under-23 option. Again, his Turkey scores. He's not been lighting the world on fire. To start every game under the new boss. Has stuck a goal and an assist in, and seems to be playing at like that figurehead of a 4-2-3-1. So a nailed striker in there is always good to see. Who else did I like the look of? Özkan at Borussia Dortmund, obviously a big team. His scores, again, he's played pretty regularly under the new manager and a couple of dark greens in those last 3. So we like that. We've also got Ismail Yüksek.
Well pronounced.
Again, really nice scores in there. Thanks. He's playing at Fenerbahce. Like this, from a Sorare perspective, they're not unreasonable costs. 0.08, sorry, is not. It's not cheaper, but it's not the end of the world if you're buying this as a Euro player that you can then use in there. They're up the league as well, and his AA in his last 4 for Turkey, 26, 51, 38s in there. Really like the look of that. If I was building like a 6 or 7 man Turkey squad to take to the Euros, hope that they get out of the group, and then you get the bonus of maybe 1 or 2 more games as well. Some really strong scores in there. As I went through the players and I was, just looking at their scores under the new manager, some of the AA these players are picking up. Bardaki. Abdulkerim Bardaki.
Oh, that's impressive, mate. Are you Turkish?
Yeah. 0.07, £8 for a limited. Again, really high scores in there. Dark greens up into the high 90s. Really good AA. He's been playing at centre back as well. That's a good keeper and maybe a double defensive stack there. Defenders are usually a bit cheaper to get hold of, a bit more accessible. So yeah, really like those 2 in there. I also like the look of this guy, another Fenerbahce player. Last 3 games at Turkey. 39 AA, 12, 49 AA, dark greens. These are Croatia and Wales.
I own his limited. Yeah? He's one of those really annoying players that, like, when he plays, he scores amazing. Like his AA is stupid, but then he just plays 1 in every 2. He plays 1 in every 2 games for Fenerbahce, it seems, at the moment. So it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, he seems to be number one of the top 2 centre backs for Turkey. And like the more I looked into these players, that this is a cheap card as well. I don't know what he's like for club. I was just isolating their Turkey scores and looking ahead, but that's really good, really good. Keenan, not Kel. This was a shout from Swiss Mafia. The other player is not joining us. The other member of the team is not joining us today. He said this guy is an absolute wonder kid.
he is going to smash. And I said, well, he's not even play. He doesn't play for Juventus and he doesn't start for Turkey. And he said 20 quid says he starts at the Euros. And I said 20 quid, he doesn't start. So I'm going to make 20 quid, but I needed to put that one on camera.
Nice.
So we've got it.
And hasn't got a card yet on Sorare, unfortunately.
No. And obviously we've got Arda Güler to come back, hopefully for the tournament. So yeah, as a whole, Turkey, some of the scores, some of the big names that have been pushed out. You know, this new team that's evolved over the last 3 or 4 games, it's really good. And obviously you've got hacking. Definitely can't say this one. The Inter Milan captain and Turkey captain, right?
Çakanoglu, I think it's pronounced. Çakanoglu.
Yeah.
But he's a really good player as well. And I also think it's really great of you to pick Turkey, considering we're coming up to Christmas. It's a very clever country to pick.
Obviously, Hakan Çalhanoğlu is how I meant to say it. He's the captain. You know, he's a big time player for them. He'll be really important. He's not a cheap card to own, which is why he wasn't in like that value dark horse stack of mine. But obviously, he's got the ability to do, you know, crazy numbers like this. Let's have a look what he does specifically for Turkey. So he is an important captain, plays a lot of the time. And yeah, he'd be a card that you could get good utility of outside of the Euro tournament as well. But if I was looking to build a stack just for the Euros, I probably wouldn't be including him because he's too expensive personally. Yeah. So, actually, you know,
the scores tend to be better for Inter, don't they, by the looks of it? I mean, he's pretty solid for Turkey. He's probably just in a bit of, you know, let's the others sort of do the goal scoring whilst he's pulling the strings. But no, for 0.3 ETH, you could get about 10 of the other players, couldn't you, that would do a very good job for you.
Yeah, but this centre-back pairing, the midfield pairing, the goalie and the striker, you know, really interests me. And then maybe pick up one of the young stars as well. I know there was Güler, but I'm going to go into him in the next section. So, yeah, that is my dark horse pick for a Sorare stack for Euro 2024 Turkey. I think the players look nuts. There's usually a lot of value in the Turkish league anyway if you wanted to carry on using them afterwards. So, Turkey for me.
Very good. I like it.
Lead on. Who would you pick as your dark horse for the title?
Well, unfortunately, so I'm picking a dark horse. I mean, they're one of the top seeds, so it's not that dark. But, you know, I feel like people may be neglecting them a little bit. I'm going to go for Belgium. So, obviously, Belgium are, you know, very high up in the seeds. I think they're in the top 6 seeds. We'll be watching them as well, obviously. We found out our game is Belgium versus Slovakia when we're over there. So that's very exciting. But yeah, so, you know, we look back the last 10, 12 years, right? We've got Belgium had their wonder years, right? Their wonder kid generation. They were getting bigged up for every tournament and they didn't quite perform, did they? They sort of got to the semis in one of the major comps potentially, but on the whole, they sort of flat to deceive, didn't they? And I think they've not been talked about as much leading up to these. I mean, we only just found out the draw, so it's not like people have had much chance to sort of talk up many teams yet. But I do feel like a lot of the other teams are getting bigged up more. England, France, Spain.
Here we are. Sorry to interrupt. The other member of the
go on, lads.
The Red Coffee Army has arrived.
You get in there. Love it. Top man. What a win. What a fucking win. Anyway.
Sorry, carry on.
So, yeah, I'm going to go for Belgium as my team. So I'll show you. Unfortunately, I don't have a Sorare data membership, as you well know. So you may want to get them up on your screen as well, just to go into a bit more depth. But this is their last game, obviously against Azerbaijan. So we're not looking at a particularly difficult opponent here. But we've got Doku. Obviously, we all know about Doku. He's one of the hottest prospects in world football at the moment. He's going to be a key man for them. You've got Bakayoko, who, you know, to the outside world, maybe not a lot of people know about him too much, but to people doing Sorare, people who know him very well, playing for PSV, I think it is. It's PSV, isn't it? Or is it Feyenoord? I always get these two muddled up. But yeah, very good player. Looks to be a key part of the Belgium squad. You've obviously got Lukaku. I think he got something like 14 goals in qualifying in 9 games. Obviously got 4 goals in the last game in 45 minutes against Azerbaijan, so that helped. But yeah, he's one of the sort of old timers now in the Belgian squad. So they'll be looking for him to carry on his goal scoring form. And then they've just got good players across the board really, but not so much good players that like they're going to get hyped up too much. You obviously got Kevin De Bruyne to come back into it, but like players like Castagna, who's playing for Fulham. He's really good value at the moment and is a starting wing back for Belgium. You've got Mangala, who's playing in a struggling Forest team in the Prem right now. So not big name players, but do really well for Belgium. And, you know, you got Wout Wees, you got Vertonghen, who's, I think he's going to go to the tournament. I guess so. I mean, he's been playing the qualifying. He's about 100 years old, but I guess he's going there. Thiat, who we've talked about on the show before. I know you own Thiat. He's a good scorer for Belgium. The only thing that's slightly up in the air is obviously the keeper situation. I saw some rumours come out today about Courtois apparently telling Real Madrid he's going to stay at Real Madrid over the Euro 2024 so he can recover from his injury. And then he came out and said that's absolute bollocks. But I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, he's meant to be out for the season, right? If he doesn't play, he obviously can't go to the tournament. It wouldn't make any sense. I'm saying this from someone that owns Castiles Limited, so you know I kind of want him to stay out of the way. I've got Fiat and a De Bruyne.
I feel like he's such a key player and a great goalkeeper for them that they'll probably try and rush him back if they can. It's kind of like when who was it? Was it Rooney came back too early for his injury for one of our tournaments and he was just shit, couldn't play. But he's
first rule of international tournaments: never rush your star players back. They always play crap.
Exactly.
Kane, we did it with Kane as well, didn't we? At one point.
That's right, yeah. But yeah, I was going to mention also we got Luis Openda, who's a very, very good player as well. Plays for Red Bull Leipzig now, I think. But yeah, very good player. They've got very good young attacking talents across the board. They've got Luca Becchio as well. They've got obviously Amadou Onana, Everton legends. Plays in centre mid for them quite a bit. Someone I will talk about a bit later is also Leandro Trossard. He's a sort of weird one, isn't he, Trossard? Like, he does so well for Arsenal coming off the bench and playing these bit part roles all the time. He was amazing at Brighton. Obviously, you owned his card, right? Back in the day. Very good.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, very good player. Always scores well. I think he's got something like 7 or 8 goals for Arsenal this season, and he's only started 9 games. So he's just always making key impact for them. But yeah, he's one of the key men for Belgium. So yeah, he's someone to look at as well, and he does have forward cards. So, but yeah, no, Belgium are my team to look out for. And group wise, they've got Slovakia, Romania, and playoff winner B. Slovakia,
love a playoff winner.
Yeah, Slovakia. I think did pretty well in their qualifying. Romania did incredibly well in their qualifying. I think they finished top of the group. But I was having a look through their squad before doing this, thinking, oh, maybe they'll have someone in their squad I can pick out as like a hot tip. But they haven't got very good players. I don't know how the hell they managed to win the group. They got like Ines Hadji, the ex-Rangers guy, and a few sort of bit part players. But maybe they're just a very good team. I don't know, and like good manager. Yeah. But yeah, they seem to have on paper. Belgium have a very good group. Slovakia, Romania, and like Estonia or something. So you'd like to think they're going to be smashing everyone in that.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to see Belgium, Slovakia. So we're lucky we got a top seed in the group. And you were right in what you say. As a top seed, you know, they're probably the most accessible top seed, aren't they, in terms of their players? They are, you know, a lot of cheap options that are going to start. Well, not cheap, but cheap in terms of top seeds at Euro 2024. Yeah,
I think Lukaku's something like 0.18 or something for a rare at the moment, which isn't like stupidly priced, is it? I mean, for someone who, you know, is very good for his national team, that's not too bad. Trossard, you're looking at about 0.05-ish for a rare forward that, you know, don't take this tip and buy all the cards that I'm going to try and buy. Because I'm going to try and buy a Trossard. But yeah.
You could easily go down the Castiles, Vertonghen, Castagna, Mangala, and then a star Lukaku type build, can you? It depends a lot on what competitions they run during the Euros, whether they're capped, whether they're, Belgium could be a very good option for that with, players playing for slightly lesser clubs.
I mean,
like Castagna playing for Fulham.
Yeah, like
he might go into the tournament on a lower cap if there's a capped format. Like Turkey as well. Turkey got a lot of Fenerbahce type players, haven't they? But some of the players like England, like if you're trying to run a Trent Kane type stack when it starts, you'll probably, and if there is a capped competition or modes, then you're probably gonna struggle to run, a team like that. So yeah, I like that.
Like all Castagna's best scores pretty much in the last year have been for Belgium. Like he's a key man for Belgium. Like you look in here, like 39 AA for Belgium a year ago, 9 months ago. You got 39 AA and 22 AA here for Belgium. 50. Oh no, what are we looking at here? He got a couple of decisives here in this game. He did really well in the last game, got a decisive and 25 AA, and he's costing you 35 quid at the moment, which is a bargain, really. I think the key for players like Castagna, and I've always mentioned this, I love buying defenders that play high up the pitch because you've always got that chance that they can have an absolute stinker AA wise, but they can get in the box and get you a decisive. The sort of, I hate to say it, but it's the Castro Montes rule. Like they can be your game week winners, players like that. And I think Castagna is evidence of that being a good option. And Fulham are looking decent as well. So he's got that Fulham utility as well. They obviously, who did they beat? Forest 4-5-0 yesterday.
5-0, yeah. There's definitely something about an attacking fullback, and they whipping the balls in, getting all that advanced AA. Yeah, love it. I do like Belgium. I have one of the rares, but I do have a few limiteds. I got the Sorare, Kevin De Bruyne, a few others. And as we're going to go watch them in Frankfurt, I think I'll definitely have to get a little stack of Belgium to play during that game week. So
I've got a Doku and an Onana limited.
Need a stack so you can be one of those people that so I can get my picture with my stack in front of the pitch. Like,
I mean, I joke about it, but yeah, I will be doing that.
oh yeah, I'm 100% serious. I'm definitely doing it. The cheesier, the better.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a Slovakia stack, a Slovakia.
Yeah, I actually got Swiss Mafia, Jesse, to take a picture of me, Norwich, Bristol City the weekend, Ashton Gate, holding my rivals up in front of the pitch, 94.5 minutes into the game as I was winning every rivals match. Game was 1-0. 94 minutes and 50 seconds, Norwich score, win 2-1 with the last kick of the game. And
you jinxed it. Basically what you're saying is you jinxed it.
Yeah, still post my picture though, because went to the effort. All right, so that was your dark horse pick. So we've ended up with Turkey and Belgium as some off the cuff winners. Belgium do have
come on England.
Belgium do have a strong chance. Turkey, I think we'll get into the knockouts, but it's how far they can go from there. But yeah, a lot of young talent there. And we're going to go through 3 players that we think are going to have a good tournament that aren't, necessarily the top 10 recognised players on Sorare. So slight dark horses, slight spicy picks. I will go first. Let's alternate and get through them because we're already 48 minutes in. My first pick is the one, the only, the likely MVP of the tournament, the owner of most Man United fans' hearts, Braveheart himself, the King of Scotland, McSauce. Scott McSauce, the cheeky chappy, fresh off destroying Chelsea single-handedly last night. Available for a mere £70 he was yesterday before the game. Still available for a tenner in limited now. Scott McTominay, rumoured to...
He should have scored 6 yesterday. Like, he had so many clear chances. It was mad.
Our friend Dan had a £5 bet on Scott McTominay to have 6 shots on target at 100 to 1. And he had 5 on target and 1 off target. He was through on goal at the end of the game, wasn't he? And he sort of muffed that chance. Right. So unfortunately, cost some money.
I didn't even know that would be an option. Scott McTominay 6 shots on target. That's
incredible, wouldn't it? But he's had a renaissance this season after being linked to Newcastle, Everton, West Ham all summer. He's not good enough. He's going to go, blah, blah, blah. Come back, more of an advanced role. Maybe that's because of injuries, but he's really taken to it. You know, who would have thought Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire would be the best Man United players? Like,
Maguire did play well, didn't he?
Player of the month in the Premier League, Harry Maguire. Scott McTominay is on fire. Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire.
Sorry,
leading.
Can you just repeat that last? Did you just say Harry Maguire for Man United, like just the Man United one?
No, Premier League Player of the month.
The whole Premier League, he got Player of the Month.
Yes.
Fuck off. That's just because they feel sorry for his well-being. That's complete bollocks. There's no
He's been
way.
really good.
Okay, he had a good game the other day. Well done, Harry Maguire. The problem is with players like him, you set the bar so low that when you have a slightly good game, everyone's like, oh my God, it's so amazing.
He's been incredible. But anyway, we can get to the Premier League preview in a bit. Scott McTominay has been incredible. But apart from that, for Man United, Scotland will look really good through the qualifying campaign, you know, which is not something we've been able to say a lot in the last few years. These are his Scotland scores. Really nice. A lot of people are saying Scotland are an underdog, dark horse for the tournament. I'm not quite so sure that, you know, they'll do that well. But they really did prove themselves in qualifying. Beat Spain 2-0 and then drew 3-0 with Norway. What else have they got in here? You know, comfortably beating Cyprus, beat Norway in the other game 2-1. It's a decent qualifying score from Scotland. And McTominay was getting a lot of goals. What was it? Where did he finish overall? 5th overall in top goal scorers in qualifying. Scott McTominay.
He certainly fucking loves playing for his nation. He's one of them players, isn't he, that just like,
yeah. I
mean, he plays his fucking heart out for United as well, to be fair, doesn't he? But like, he really takes the ball by the horns for Scotland, and fair dues to Scotland. Like, they looked really good in a lot of the qualifiers. You know, it's very difficult to qualify for the Euros over a 10-game span by accident. Like, they deserve to be in the Euros. Like, they played well. Scott McTominay, what did he have? Like 7 goals, I think, stupid?
7 goals, 5th highest.
That's pretty good from someone who historically has been classed as a sort of defensive midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's getting in the box like a madman. He's doing it for United now as well. So yeah, I think that's good value. Unfortunately, the tips just come after he's scored a brace, so his price has probably gone up a fair bit. But
yeah, he looks great. Looks like he's got decisive in this more attacking role for Scotland and Man United. 10 quid for a limited for Man United and potential star at Euro 2024. Not sure how far Scotland will get, but I think they'll probably give us at least one good performance in the group. And Scott McTominay is the star man. You've always got that Man United card value holding up the price as well, if that's the way you went. So Scott McTominay, McSauce, the legend for me. Go for Tornado, pick one.
Okay, so I'm going to just go for the one that I've already mentioned because it's nice and easy. Rick, can you get it up on screen because you can show me his international appearances and I can't do it with my Sorare Date membership. So,
yeah,
my first pick is Leandro Trossard. Mainly because I've been doing a lot of research into buying forwards myself. Trossard's been the guy I've sort of settled on and haven't bought him yet. But yeah, I just think he's going to be a key man for Belgium. He's been doing really well for for Arsenal. And yeah, I think obviously we've talked about it already. Belgium have a really good group. He seems to be the guy that takes a lot of their set pieces. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne's going to be in amongst the mix as well at some point. But yeah, if you scroll down a little bit there, Rick,
yeah,
see his scores. I mean, he's obviously missed a couple of games, but that was when he was injured. But other than that, he's been a key man for them. I think he had 4 or 5 goals in qualifying in 9 games, which is pretty good. And yeah, he's worth about 50 to 60 quid right now, rare. So yeah, he's going to be my cheeky little punt for myself and also for other people. I'd recommend they give it a go.
About 100 quid in rare right now. That
sorry, I meant 0.05 ETH, not 50 quid. Apologies.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Get him in.
Trossard. All right. My next one, along your lines of attacking fullbacks earlier on, I've gone for Denzel Dumfries. Only 150 rares and 519 limited, so not the most heavily carded player out there, but £15 or 140 at the moment for the Inter Milan Fullback, I like him because he's a defender card, but he essentially plays right midfield for Holland. Holland's are, an attacking team. Fancy them to get second spot in their group. He had the third most assists in qualifying. Those decisive capabilities from a card defender that's basically playing, attacking right midfield. That defender clean sheet bonus from a card playing that high up is really interesting. Not the cheapest cards, but I think he's got that ability to put in these massive scores. Obviously didn't play against Gibraltar, was rested, but the decisives, double decisives. He's got the ability to put in big scores, attacking right midfield, plays all over that right-hand side. Holland are always likely to be an offensive team. I think he's pretty much nailed to play, plays for a good club if you want that before or after tournament utility as well. And I think Holland will comfortably get through their group. Probably not top, but I think Denzel Dumfries is a really nice pick. A card that I looked at basically every time a European competition comes around. He's someone I think about, but just never get in. But I'd like looking outside of like the main 3 or 4 favourites for the tournament. I think he's a big card that could perform, a big player and a big card that could perform outside those top 4 teams. So Denzel for me. Who are you going for?
I like it. So my next pick is Christian Eriksen. Obviously, we all know Christian Eriksen. He is one of the key men for Denmark. He will be on set pieces. The main thing I like about Christian Eriksen right now is his price is absolute dirt cheap. I know he almost died, but I think he's all right now. I don't think he's going to have any problems in the Euros. But 30 quid roughly for rare at the moment for someone who's going to be a key man, set piece taker for Denmark, who, are probably in the top 10, top 12 teams of the Euros, I'd imagine. They're
England's group, and they probably
they're going to have
favourites in that group.
Yeah, they'll obviously have England in the group, but you'd like to think they'll get through in second place. I mean, I think he's not going to have that utility for United. I think he's likely to probably leave at the end of the season from United. I don't know. You're obviously a United fan. I can't see him staying beyond this season, but it's a sort of player you can see going to somewhere in like Denmark or Holland and sort of playing out the last few years of his career there and having that utility for club as well in like one of the best teams in a lesser nation. So he's got that to sort of back up his price as well. But his price is 30 quid, so it's worth the punt, I think. For someone who's going to be taking set pieces, would he take their penalties? I guess maybe he might take their penalties. I know they've got Højlund, but who else is there? Oh, you froze. Can you hear me, Ricky T?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was phrase. I think he's a good pick. He's 30 quid, absolute bargain. And he's still got that big name, right? Christian Eriksen's still that big name that even if he, did retire, he'd probably still be worth 30 quid anyway for a rare. I
mean, those are insane scores in qualifying campaign. It wasn't the toughest games, Kazakhstan, Slovenia, San Marino, but
obviously, he's got an injury at the moment, so but I don't think it's like a major injury that's going to, have any doubt for the Euros. So I think that's probably why his price is a little bit low at the moment. People maybe not thinking that far in advance for the Euros. Like he'll be worth double that price at the Euros if you were looking to just buy a card and sell him at the Euros.
Yeah, I agree. He probably definitely goes at Denmark. Obviously, have a tough game in England, but the other 2 games, they should score relatively well in. So, I like it. That's a cheap value pick. Again, got the Man United backup as well, haven't you? And I will go for my third pick, the player that was conspicuously not overly talked about in my Turkish review, Arda Güler. Obviously, wonder kid, Real Madrid star now, who's had injury problems and hasn't really got going for them. I've seen he's trained, he's due back. It seems to keep rumbling on. They talk really there, the player management, the coaching staff. He's obviously played for Turkey already. Everyone bigs him up. Scored against Wales. You're buying into an expensive player who's, plays for Real Madrid, is a wonder kid, but you're, due back soon, get some games for Real Madrid, lead into the tournament, breakout wonder kid at the tournament, a la Rooney, things like that. When a player comes in, obviously he's so highly spoken of. Can he live up to that on a big stage like the Euros? But, I can see it happening. Gets some game time for Real Madrid, earns the respect there, leads Turkey into the Euros, has a breakout tournament, takes them into the knockout stages, fulfills his promise. He's meant to be amazing, right? We've all seen the training videos. We've all seen the players talk about him. He's meant to be big time. If I was getting a Turkey stack, which I probably am now because I've researched it and I've lost my mind about it, he'd be like one that I'd love to take a flyer on, and one of those wonder kids cards that you own and then follow throughout their career. I think he's got the potential to be anything, right? To be absolutely incredible, to be one of the best. One that I'm really interested in watching. So obviously McSauce is already a world beater. Dumfries is a big name, and then Gula is sort of a wonder kid punt for a very good dark horse stack that you could make. So really interests me.
You know what's funny as well is that you look at his underneath his picture there, and he's under 23 until 2029. Like, that's fucked up. Like, that is mad. I mean, he looks like he's about 12 years old, doesn't he? But if you're ever going to get on him, in terms of price, like, he probably is the lowest he's going to be at the moment for probably the next 10 years. And he's still quite expensive now, let's be honest. But like, you could see if Sorare does have another sort of rush of money come in, like, he's going to bump up in value big time, because he is like the new Cherky in a way. And Cherky's only like 19 himself. But like, he's like the new wonder boy, golden boy of Sorare, I reckon.
Yeah, look at those scores that he did at Fenerbahce. He's got the ability.
He's crazy. And he's not just someone who looks good but doesn't score well on Sorare. Like, he looks good, he looks amazing, and his scores in Sorare, even when he doesn't look that great, are still amazing. So he's like the perfect card to get.
Ready-made for the Matrix, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, your third pick.
It's I wanted to try and get someone from Portugal. So Portugal, I think, are going to have a really good tournament. They've got a really good mix of youth and experience. Obviously, they've got Ronaldo, so that usually helps quite a bit. I've gone for João Paulinho. Oh no, that's João Felix. I've gone for João Paulinho.
Wrong João, mate. Wrong João.
Wrong João. So João Paulinho, he's not particularly become a very nailed-on starter for Portugal yet. Obviously, they've got Ruben Neves that sort of plays the same position as him, but he's gone off to Saudi now, so I don't know quite if that's going to work with. He's probably still getting the squad, but he played the last game for Portugal. He's a very good player. Obviously, we see him a fair bit for Fulham. I think he's got the most possession won or tackles and something in the Premier League. He's insane. Way too good for Fulham. Obviously, had a last-minute move to Bayern Munich fall down, didn't he, in the summer? So that's something to sort of think about as well. Like, you could get someone here who's, a very good player for his club, scores really well, could be a very key man for one of the better teams in the Euros, and also after the Euros this summer, I'd imagine he probably does go on to join Bayern Munich, doesn't he? And you could have a Bayern Munich starting centre mid for 120 quid, which is cheap, really, if you think about it. One of the main stackable teams. He could be one of the main guys there. But Portugal-wise, we've talked about their group already. They've got Turkey, your boys Turkey. They've got Czech Republic. I think Czech Republic did pretty well in their qualifying, but they'll probably struggle in the group here. Turkey are probably the second favourites, and then playoff winner C. So they've got a pretty good group. I and you could see a almost Portugal winning the Euros, and just Ronaldo being like sticking it to Messi one last time. Almost, I can kind of see it happening. Like I don't know, talking about Portugal, did you see that stat about Ronaldo in the last qualifying round where he scored 2 goals, and it was like he's got more goals in all football after 30 years old than like Ronaldo had, like the original Ronaldo had his whole career, like something stupid like that. It was like they named about 15 players he's got more goals than after he's 30 than they had in their whole careers, and it's just like fucking fair dues. That is impressive. So yeah, there could be a dark horse, and having Palhinha as
another tournament this summer, rack up a few more.
Yeah, get him in.
I think Palhinha is a good shout. If you've got to presume he's moving to Bayern Munich. They said they're still interested in him. He basically was out the door. He goes there, carries on, progresses into the Portugal, like nails down that starting spot. Yeah, he's got that good upward trajectory, hasn't he?
And apologies to our viewers if we're having some connection issues here. I do feel like we're having a few Wi-Fi problems tonight, but yeah.
Yeah, we are bouncing in and out a little bit, but we move. All right, so that was 3 picks each for the Euros. 3 slightly, under the radar, spicy picks. So we'll move on. 2 more things to do before we go. Weekly Everton and a little look at the Premier League weekend. We'll blast through the Premier League thing because we seem to be a bit spotty on our connection. But we will do the weekly Everton. Obviously, the weekly Everton is an Everton stack provided by Johnny versus a stack from around the world picked by someone from the comments or Twitter. So if anyone's got a team, actually, this weekend's team is going to be Sossaloo. I pulled the Sossaloo shirt. We're going to go for Sossaloo this weekend. Sossaloo v Everton.
I thought we were for Vitesse this weekend. Was that last weekend?
That was last week, wasn't it? Because we're 1-1, weren't we? We're 1-1, aren't we?
I think so.
Week 1, Hajduk Split lost to Everton.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you were beaten by
Andorra, I think it was. Wasn't it Andorra?
FC Andorra. Yeah, beat you. And it was Vitesse that was shouted out by Red or Dead last week. So we took a Vitesse stack against your Everton players. I'm not sure what your Everton players got. Can you remember? When I say I'm not sure.
We're talking the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you sent it over to me earlier. So
I actually think I might have sent you the wrong. I think I might have sent you the midweek team, which is stupid of me. But yeah, let's have a look.
I'll show you what we got. Well, Vitesse picked up 246 points, which I don't think is going to be enough. The main reason, my main man, Mel Mullenstein, who I have owned since the very start of my Sorare journey, got a 4.6. Sent off, I believe he was. Destroyed it for us. Edel Room did all right, Van Ginkel did all right, and Manhoff did all right. Yeah, let down by Mel Mullenstein, and 246. What did you end up on?
Well, I'm afraid I ended up on 354. So I think I've just slightly taken that win there. Obviously, would Everton do well? I do well, and the Everton stack does well. Tends to. Unfortunately, my stack this midweek didn't do too well because James Garner was sick, so he was dropped. Well, not dropped, but he wasn't playing because he was sick. So midweek wise, didn't do too great. But yeah, I've got the win there at the Toffees.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Mel Mullenstein starts down. That's Everton 2. The rest of the world 1. We go again this weekend. FC Sossaloo will be, I'm not sure who they're playing, but I've just pulled their mystery shirt. So they will take on Everton this weekend. We'll get the stacks up. Obviously, I haven't had time to look at a stack, but we will put 2 stacks on Twitter this weekend so we know who's who. And we'll reconvene next week. So this week is Sossaloo versus Everton, round 4.
Love it.
Berardi, as long as Berardi's not injured, I think we've got a shot there.
Berardi's just an Italian Dwight McNeil, mate.
Well, it's really hard to argue on the back of two good Dwight McNeil performances, but any time before then, I think we probably could have put up a decent argument. So this weekend, Sosolu have got Calgary away.
Well, that's a pretty good fixture for them, to be fair. I think Calgary are rubbish.
Yeah. Let's just run through a little league preview before we leave for the night. Game week 4 of this winter competition. No Friday night games again, obviously, because it's been a midweek. Are you trying to get me to pronounce it properly? Am I pronouncing it wrong? Swasalo? Swasula.
I think it's Sassuolo, is it?
You know, my pronunciation is a real poor point. I used all my good luck up trying to get through the Turkish national team earlier. Palace Liverpool, first game up, lunchtime. Liverpool an easy win, although not a massive score against Sheffield United. You probably have to fancy them away. You know, never back the early game is a rule of life. Palace are quite stubborn at home under Roy Hodgson revenge game against Liverpool.
Yeah, maybe. But they obviously Palace just lost yesterday pretty badly at home to Bournemouth, didn't they? So morale will be low. I mean, I can't see much more than a Liverpool win there personally. But yeah, like you say, back in the early games, always a bit dodgy, especially after midweek fixtures where there's going to be probably a bit of rotation.
Yeah, you got to think Palace are on the ropes a little bit. Roy's getting a bit of heat. I think they lost Matip for the season now, haven't they? In last year's contract. You'd have to fancy Liverpool, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as Bournemouth found it yesterday. But yeah, I'd probably go for Liverpool 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if Palace got a draw though, but this is my Man United head talking probably. But
I think we're looking at a 4-1 for Liverpool, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just don't like Selhurst Park away in London for the early game. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe it is as simple as an easy Liverpool win. And then we got Brighton, Burnley. Brighton, one of those teams like Newcastle, I think, that just look a bit leggy at times when the games stack up on them. Burnley have showed glimpses of being a good team. How good can you really be from beating a 10-man Sheffield United 5-0? Tough to tell. You know, feels like a Desmond to me. What about you?
I mean, you know, I agree with you. Brighton have looked leggy, and the games are certainly piling up. And you know, just when they probably could have done with a midweek without a game in terms of not having Europa League, they had a Premier League game, but they did win. So you think their morale's going to be pretty high. Burnley got brought back down to earth a bit after their thumping of Sheffield United, didn't they, and got beat by Wolves. Although Burnley, I think, played pretty well against Wolves. They seem to be having the same problem. They've played well in quite a few games this season. And they do try to play good football under Company. I just think they've not quite got the players to sort of capitalise on those games. But yeah, I mean, I could see a draw, but it's more likely I see a Brighton win there. We're looking at probably a 2-0, I reckon, Brighton.
Yeah, it's in the, matchups here for Brighton players. Amdouni's one of the players I've been looking at for the Swiss team for the Euros. We got Man United Bournemouth after that.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear a word you're saying. Hello, Ricky T. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. I don't know what is going on with our Wi-Fi tonight. I don't know if it's yours or mine, but it's the worst I've ever seen it. Maybe there's problems in the area. You just I could see the screen moving then, where you were clicking between the pictures, but your screen wasn't doing anything at all. Try talking now, mate.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but your face isn't moving.
Ah, well, it's probably for the best. We seem to be some connection issues, so maybe we just scrap for this and we call this a day, and we come back to it next week. Man United will beat Bournemouth comfortably, and that's all you need to know.
Everton will beat Chelsea comfortably. And
Chelsea will beat. Yeah, play your Man City stacks against Luton. That's our advice. Yeah, but a big weekend of Premier League action. I think we will. We seem to be hitting some form of lag and connection issue. So let's call it a day there, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully, when the local Bristol internet is running a lot smoother than it is tonight. So, yeah, nothing else to add from you.
Up the fucking Toffees, 3-0. We're out the relegation zone. Fuck everyone that doubted us. Let's just bloody win the league. But yeah, no, other than that, nothing else to say, mate. Up the Toffees.
Up the Toffees. Right. If you could like the video on the way out, please. That might help us afford slightly more secure Wi-Fi for next week. Good night, Red or Dead. Thanks for joining us. And from us, that's it. So, Viva la Thursday Club.
See you later, boys. Up the Toffees.